Welcome to the Reality of Herbal Therapy podcast. So today I want to keep on going with our series about the systems of the body, different systems. We've talked about digestive, respiratory, and several others. So today I want to talk about the endocrine system. Dr. James called it the endocrine system, and I can't even say. There's like the way you learn something and trying to change the way you say it sometimes is pretty hard. So the endocrine system is basically all of the glands in our body that makes hormones or controls hormones. So you've got there's your pancreas, your adrenals, your thyroid, your hypothalamus in your brain controls, it tells your body like which hormones to make and things like that. There's the one just below your thyroid that is in charge of testosterone, and everybody has it. We all need testosterone. So let's kind of talk about the glandular system and hormones. So hormones are a different part of the body that basically they're kind of like the chemical power plants. Sometimes they help with the digestion, like in the pancreas and things like that, or they help with the health of the body. The thyroid, basically it cleanses out the viruses, toxins, things like that. The thyroid takes care of that. You've got the male and female hormones that the body uses for reproduction and also for the way we do things. So like the breasts on a woman, the testes on a man, those are all different parts of the endocrine system. So let's talk a little bit about formulas, which ones you'd want to use for which things. So starting with the pancreas. So the pancreas it's on the left side of your stomach, just underneath the rib cage. And what the pancreas does is it creates the hormones needed for processing sugars. So, but it also helps with making the red blood cells and stuff like that. So depending on how your body deals with sugars, if it's not dealing with it correctly, you would want to go with high sugar or low sugar. So high sugar is for any diabetic type reactions to sugar. So a diabetic reaction is basically your body dumps so much insulin. Insulin is what your pancreas makes. It'll dump so much insulin, more than the amount of sugar there is, so that basically the sugars in your body don't digest, and so they don't get used and they build up in the system, which can cause it can basically break down a lot of nerve endings and make it so it doesn't work as well. So that's where you get like the numbness and things like that. So any diabetic reaction, high sugar. If you've got the opposite side of that, where you get so much that your body, it burns through all the sugar and it just keeps burning all the sugar and you have no sugar left, that you'll be worn out and tired and exhausted. That is a hypoglycemic reaction, and low sugar will help with that. So high sugar is it's consistent. You want to be taking it consistently. Depending on your hypoglycemic reactions, if it's consistent, taking low sugar consistently will help. But if it's just a sugar drop, low sugar also helps with that. Just take a couple capsules and it will bring your sugar back up, and it helps it so it's in a normal state. So you're not going to get that sugar drop. So high sugar and low sugar for any pancreas issue, and then you have to know how your body is dealing with whatever's causing that and the sugar and the problem and stuff. So the next one I want to talk about, and it's kind of closely related, is the adrenals. So the adrenals are basically, it's kind of like a energy gland, but it also adrenaline that's where adrenaline is manufactured. And we talk about an adrenaline rush where it's like this huge flush of adrenaline and you're all hyper and excited and fight or flight. It's like the there's that, but your adrenals are pretty much constantly working. So low sugar will help with that, along with bladney. So like if the adrenals are starving for nutrients, they're going to pull it from the kidneys because they're sitting right on top of your kidneys. So low sugar feeds the adrenals, but low sugar helps the adrenals to function properly. Bladney will help feed the adrenals. So those two work really, really well together. And there's a test that Dr. James would do to see how well your adrenals are functioning. So you get a blood pressure cuff, and while standing up, you take your blood pressure, and then wait a couple minutes. We'll sit down, wait a couple minutes, take your blood pressure again. If your blood pressure is higher while you're sitting, then your adrenals are overworked, and they basically they're constantly pumping adrenaline or whatever it is into the body. And so they're overworked and they're kind of like tired and worn out. Taking care of the adrenals can also help with some kinds of blood pressure issues. So bladney and low sugar together for that. Start with bladney if you have blood pressure issues. Bladney for men generally will solve it. So bladney and low sugar for adrenals. So the next gland I want to talk about is your thyroid. The entire volume of your blood passes through your thyroid it's like 5 to 10 minutes. The entire volume of your blood passes through the thyroid. And so the thyroid will take iodine that it has throughout the body and kill whatever viruses are in the blood before they can take over. And, our thyroid is basically fighting a constant battle, killing off viruses. We're always exposed to viruses, and the thyroid is constantly killing them. Well, if the thyroid doesn't have what it needs to kill off viruses, then the viruses become more and more, and the thyroid can't overcome it. We become sick, and so then your thyroid has to work extra hard. Your white blood cells have to work extra hard. So for the thyroid, we always suggest the Lugol's iodine. There's several ways you can take it. Putting it directly in a capsule will kill, if there's lots of viruses in the stomach, food poisoning, anything like that. It'll stop that. If you're wanting to feed the thyroid, however, the best way to do it is to do Dr. James's tea honey and put a little bit of the iodine in the tea honey and drink it. So the other formula that would, of course, go along with that is Nemia. So Nemia helps build the blood, but it also gives the thyroid what it needs. It has the nutrients for the thyroid to be healthy, so that as that blood is passing through the thyroid has what it needs to kill off whatever bug is bugging you. So along those lines, if your blood is overly toxic, or you're exposed to lots of toxins, blood wash and detoxylation will help the health of the blood, but also help with the thyroid. So another gland we have they're connect to the lymphatic system. So they're glands that help clean out the lymphatic system. And so those glands follow along behind, just underneath your ears. You have that dip between your jaw and behind your ear. And if you follow that down, there's a line that follows down. It's the tube that goes from your ear into your throat. And there's a gland that follows along there. A lot of times, so that gland its job is to help clean out the lymphatic system. And the lymphatic system are catch pockets for toxins. But the interesting thing about it is the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. It can't pump toxins in or out. The only way it can do that is through movement. So if you're sedentary, you have a job where you're sitting down a lot, or you're not getting out and moving as much, then your lymphatics have a harder time moving those toxins. So first off, get up and move. A rebounder is excellent because the bouncing on a rebounder is basically, it is the exact same thing that what Dr. James called the healthy bounce, where you just kind of stand there and bounce up and down. That cleanses the lymphatics because it acts like a pump. You're using gravity, the motion of that rebounder to pump the toxins out of the lymphatics. If you've got a lot of buildup in the lymphatics, though, blood wash is amazing to help move those toxins out of the lymphatics. If you get a major buildup in, you can't put that spot I was talking about between the bottom of your ears and then following where the veins and the tubes go from your ears down into your throat, like underneath the jaw, along the jawline there. If you put gland oil there, that also helps with clearing out those clogged glandulars that are underneath the throat. And those glands basically, they help with digestion. So like when we eat, they're the glands that secrete saliva so that tells our stomach, hey, food's coming. And sometimes those can get clogged up, especially if we've got any ear problems, throat problems, upper respiratory problems. Those glands can get clogged up, and gland oil is really, really helpful to help move that the toxins, so your body can function properly. So the next part of the glandular system is kind of split in two. So there's the female part and the male part. So we have several different formulas for a woman or for a man. So for a woman, when we talk about the glandular system and the endocrine system and the hormones that the body creates. So for a woman, you've got like your ovaries and the whole female reproductive system is kind of part of the glandular system, and it uses, so there's the progesterone and estrogen that your body uses. So a wonderful herb that we use for that is dong quai. So dong quai is one of only two herbs that we use by themselves. And one of the reasons Dr. James really loved dong quai is because dong quai has all of the building blocks for estrogen and progesterone. So whatever your body needs, by taking dong quai, you give it exactly what it needs. Dong quai is really wonderful if you have breast tenderness, the cysts or growths on any of the female organs, the breasts, the ovaries, anything like that. Dong quai generally will help break those down because it gives the body exactly what it needs to be able to do that. The other female formulas are hormone and tonic F. So hormone is wonderful if, as a woman's going through menopause and her body is basically the amount of progesterone and estrogen that's needed flips. So the body has to stop making one and start making the other, but then it's got to go slow, but it's got to flip it this way or that way. And what its needs are, hormone basically helps balance those out. One of the things that Dr. James loved about having the formula hormone, when he passed away, there was 70 to 80 babies born to infertile couples thanks to hormone. It basically helps a woman as she becomes pregnant, if she has a problem with miscarriages or losing the baby, it helps a woman keep the baby. Hormone creates that environment where it's able to do it, to keep it. So tonic F basically helps with a woman's cycle. So hormone is when either a woman's going through menopause and there's that flip, that switch of hormones, or if there's a problem in achieving and maintaining a pregnancy, hormone is also real helpful for that. Tonic F, on the other hand, basically helps make a woman's cycle normal. So, when people talk, some women, they talk about their monthly cycle. They get on their brooms, they wake up in the morning, get on their broomstick, and well, that's not normal. So normal for the monthly cycle should be 1 to 2 days, maybe 3 at most, of flow, and it should be over. So anything, and for a normal monthly cycle, you should be able to set your clock by it. Basically, it is every 28 days. It goes for 3 days, stops 28 days later, and it happens again. Tonic F will help you get to that normal flow, that normal monthly cycle that a woman should be at. There's all sorts of chemicals and things in our air and our water and all sorts of different places that Tonic F will help normalize and clear those out of the female system. And for a teenager, if she has a lot of acne or anything like that, that's from, the body is starting to ramp up certain hormone production, and there's not a balance, and acne can be, if that's a cause of acne. Tonic F will help that in a young woman. A lot of times you want to take blood wash with it, because with the increase in hormones, it's trying to deal with toxins or other things in the body. And sometimes it's not even toxins, like cholesterols and oils and fats in the body. And it's trying to deal with it. So blood wash and Tonic F will help with that acne. So moving over from a female to a man. So there's a lot for a woman. For a man, it all pretty much comes down to Hapio. Any man problem, Hapio is the formula for that. We also have Man Up, which is another male formula, but it's not specifically for male. But what it does is it helps with testosterone production. Testosterone is the hormone that's basically in charge of muscle building, strength. It helps our muscles be so our muscles are like a bunch of stack of fibers stacked together. And so when you have enough testosterone, basically those muscles are the fibers are the right. There's different kinds for different places, but the muscles in like the arms and the legs and the long muscles, the long fibers, and testosterone helps make those fibers long and strong. So that's when we would suggest taking Man Up. It also helps with a man's desire for his woman, for his wife, that sort of thing. And then for young men, if they have acne issues like that change in the hormones of their body, Hapio and blood wash together help with acne. So along for those things. So then, of course, there's the formulas that go with everything. Infection, if you have an infection anywhere and any that is hindering the production of hormones or, changing the way hormones are being produced. Bladder infections or kidney infections, kidney stones can generate infections in the kidneys, which then causes an imbalance in the adrenals. So infection, of course, will help with that. Travel basically helps anything work better. Also, along with the woman's monthly cycle, if there's a lot of cramping and pain with the monthly cycle, what that is there's the blood is kind of stuck. It's not able to flow freely and to be discarded during that monthly cycle. Travel, just a couple of them will help open up everything so that blood can flow and the body can get rid of the excess blood that a woman has. So travel is real amazing for that. But it also help any others work better. So like if you're taking Man Up as far as for like a workout booster, so it like helps to build muscle following a workout, taking one travel along with it will make it work a little bit better and a little bit faster. Gives you those longer, leaner muscles. And then of course, vitamins and minerals. Anytime there's something not working right, there's a deficiency. So your body is deficient in something and it needs something else to help make it work. So that's the vitamins and minerals. So that is the endocrine system. It's a wonderful part of our body that helps regulate a whole lot of things. And it's really essential to health. So you want to make sure that your hormones are working for you in the way they should, and that you have the right balance of hormones. Too much of one hormone over another can cause a lot of emotional issues, stresses, strains. I completely skipped over the brain, the hypothalamus, the part of the brain. So that part of the brain determines what hormones need to be used and stuff. If that's not functioning properly, blood wash will help. Blood wash basically helps with blood flow to the brain. It also helps clear out anything in that blood brain. They call it the blood brain barrier. Blood wash will cross over that barrier, pick up toxins, move it back into the blood, and help clear it out of the brain. So that's really essential. So yeah, that's the endocrine system, and that's the formulas for it. If you like this episode, subscribe to our podcast on anywhere that you're listening to us, and we will talk to you next time. It is not the intent of professional herbal instruction or any persons associated therewith to diagnose or prescribe. The intent is only to offer herbal information for your consideration. In the event you use this information without your doctor's approval, you are prescribing for yourself, which is your God-given right. But professional herbal instruction or any persons associated herewith assume no responsibility. The claims and statements made on this podcast have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.